Let's talk about jobs. We know that we have people that are concerned about being replaced in this era of AI and its emergence. We've heard experts talk about how it has the potential to create jobs. And then we've heard, of course, the discourse about being replaced. Can you give us some insight and just your perspective on it and what our viewers can, take away from the conversation?
Yeah, I mean, it's a conversation that I actually really love having because keep in mind you're talking to someone who I think the last time I had a full-time job was when I was 21. I've been freelance for actually, no, I think it was when I was 19. So I've been freelance for over a decade. So for me, a job is something that I'm constantly having to earn, right? My career is something that I designed before it existed. And so my understanding of the world of work and labor without AI is one in which I'm having to constantly upskill. I'm having to constantly challenge myself to learn new avenues of selling myself and new possibilities that I could start to lean into in the creative work that I do. So not only as an artist, but as an entrepreneur, my lens is one that is particularly um, I would say nuanced in that it looks at work not as like a solid thing that you have or you have not, but it is always a state of becoming. And so I think when people say it's going to create jobs or take away jobs, I absolutely think that it is going to make jobs that exist today redundant. In the same way that like I shoot on film, I love film, but digital photography and film absolutely put out so many labs out of business. And so if there is a world in which we live in where there can be like no change, yeah, sure, there's a kind of like tit for tat. Um, let me start that over again. One sec. I think that with AI, it is going to change everything. And by that, I mean the change will be total. Like the way that a species is introduced to an environment, it doesn't change just one thing, it changes everything. And so, like, we are in a place right now where we're witnessing this transformation, and it is going to transform not only how we work, but how we communicate with one another, how we understand ourselves, how we understand the nature of work. And so, I think that if people are expecting that nothing will change, they'll be sorely disappointed or perhaps heartbroken to find that that just will not be true. And yet, the fact that everything is change and everything is constantly changing is an opportunity. And so, for me, I'm very, very aware of the ways in which I will need to pivot, and everyone around me in this industry will need to pivot to make sure that they are still relevant in a world in which AI can very much do that same job 10 times faster. And some would argue 10 times worse, but that doesn't change the fact that it will make obsolete a lot of the things that we are thinking of as constant and unchanging right now. And so thank God these film labs that I used to love when I was younger, some of them are still in business so that we can still shoot on film, right? Thank God that that is still the case. But it doesn't mean that we have six options to pick from now in the same town. We might have one and it's 3 states away. And so I don't think it's going to demolish different industries, but I do think it's going to drastically change the market. And we have an opportunity to see that as something that we are pivoting towards. And we also can look at that as like everything is changing and everything is going to pivot and transform, maybe in a way that I don't like, and that is going to make my job no longer needed. And I will say that in some senses, in some cases, yes, and in other cases, no. And we just need to be patient and see where the cards fall. But this is a really big chance for us to go in with eyes wide open that we're in a drastically changing ecosystem that is very much in flux.
Absolutely. We are in an era of digital transformation, and change management is top of mind.